What's up everybody, I'm Eric Hansen with Backpacking TV. Welcome to a new round of Fresh Gear Friday in which I break down spanking new gear, brand spanking new gear with some assistance from a dog here. But today I am breaking down the MSR Hubba 3-person tent, first up on the list. Now I am well familiar with the 2-person tent. I in fact backpacked all through South America with the 2-person version, but they've done some updates and I wanted to get my hands on the 3-person tent because I really think that a 3-person tent is the best sized tent for backpacking with a partner and especially backpacking with a dog. So adding in that extra bit of room really goes a long way. It makes it so much easier for life and space inside, especially with inclement weather. So I'm gonna set this baby up and give it my thoughts, give you the tech specs, and then we're gonna move on to more gear. All right, let's go, starting now. Okay, so right off the bat, I can tell that there has been a major update. This is called the Hubba Hubba. This was kind of the main first, at least that I'm aware of. There may be others, but I believe MSR kind of pioneered this hub system that you see all over the place with tents now, and how the poles are kind of pre-connected, or at least they have a way of interconnecting in this way. This system right here, so these will just come out, whoop, hitting my camera there. You know, they can connect really easily and make it especially quick for setup. So these poles definitely feel lighter, and that hub system feels a lot cleaner than the old one. Right off the bat, super intuitive, very easy tent to set up. So this is a freestanding tent, as you can see. I could set this up without stakes in order to keep the tension. Of course, stakes help keep everything more rigid, keep everything more taut, more structurally sound, but this thing is standing on its own. My initial impressions are that it's very clean, very sharp. The attention to detail is nice, including some of the things with how the poles actually kind of like fit in the different grooves together. Just very, very pleasant. Very nice touches there from MSR. I'm gonna go dive inside and take a look. I'm gonna bring you with me. Right off the bat, I can see that there's these zippers all go to one point. If you don't already know how annoying it can be to need 2 hands to open a tent door, it's very annoying. So having these straight lines right off the bat is like, ooh, again, good job MSR. Now, when I talk about this tent, this is the 3-person version, but this should just be essentially identical to the 2-person, just a little bit bigger. So 2-person, whether that's your preference, 1, 2, 3-person tents, the main things are gonna be the difference in weight and then your preference, but all the design factors should be the same. So as we go into this tent, keep that in mind if you're not interested in the 3-person. Whew. Spacious. I like the clarity through the mesh if you want to stargaze. You've got a little balance of privacy and visibility. Kovo's favorite thing is tents. So he's a pretty intense dog. Yeah. Okay, so perfect example of why I actually really love this multiple size tents. All right, Kovo's already breaking it in. That's good to see. All right, we're gonna see if he puts a toenail through the tent or anything like that. One of the reasons why I really love tents this size is because when I'm backpacking with a dog, oh my goodness, you little ham. When I'm backpacking, I really love having headroom, space. Now, my fiance, Christy, and I could be sitting up. There is a ton of headroom. I'm not even coming close to the top of this and I'm sitting up, and I'm 6 feet tall. So there is so much headroom. Actually, this is the most headroom I think I've ever seen in a tent. So I love that. There's a couple of little gear hangs here and here. That's super nice. A lot of times these tents don't come with that. They might have spaces like these tabs right here, here, and here to add things. And it looks like you can add more storage, but I like that it gives you some. I like being able to get stuff off the ground. And then there's more here at the head and down here at the feet. So there's lots and lots of room to put things in. It's all set up. It's in its finished form. It's got the rainfly on. And my first impressions are pretty positive, although right off the bat, I really dislike this color. This is kind of like a sort of mustardy brown that just looks blech. It's a blend of yellow and brown. And I'm guessing that their goal is just to make it kind of earth toned, not super vibrant, stand out. I think MSR, if I recall correctly, they said that especially with European individuals who want to use this in Europe, where stealth camping is more important because there's not as much just open land. Whereas in America, we like vibrant, pop, cow, you know, just be bright on Instagram and stuff like that. So this is not gonna be a super Instagrammable tent because it just looks mustardy. Sorry, MSR. I don't love your color choice. But design is much more important, of course. So let's take a look at some things. One, it's got a universal fly, so it can go on head. That's not true. That's not true. It could be easy to set up. I believe the shape is the same, but you're gonna wanna integrate the doors the right way because the doors have to go a certain direction. So I was gonna say good job on them, but now I changed my mind because the door orientation is really important. Just throw some color coding on and then you know which way goes what for the doors. But let's look at this. I do like that this rainfly actually gets guyed out to this midpoint, and then the door, instead of being in the middle, which is very common, the door is off to the side. So one of the reasons why I like that is that you're gonna get this ridge right here. If you're in a rainstorm, this is going to be raining. Obviously it's going to be coming off the rainfly, and then it's going to come and catch on this lip right here. And so that's gonna then funnel all of the rain down to this corner. While we're over here, let's take a look. It does have this handy fix point. So you can just open the doors up, and it feels pretty good. This feels decent, better than some doors that I've used, especially on Big Agnes's systems. But then over here, there's something what I think is even more curious. This is your ventilation system right in here. There aren't any more vent ports. Normally I would see, something maybe over here or up there. So it kind of gives me the impression that that's gonna not be a lot of ventilation based on where it's placed. I also think it'll probably mean that if you could just close it up and you shouldn't get rain in here, I don't think. I don't know. I haven't seen this design. I don't know how it would hold up in a storm. But then the other thing is that I do like is that there's dual zippers. So you can zip from the top and you can zip from the bottom. So I like having the options, especially if I want to just poke my head out. I can just open this up a little bit whoop, and just see what's going on outside without fully opening my tent up or putting my head on the ground to see what's going on in there. The 3-person tent is a $579 tent. That's pretty pricey, no doubt about it. However, to put it in perspective, the 2-person tent is $479, so shave a cool $100 off of that. And I feel like you're talking not a bad deal. So similar tents that I've been using lately are all over $500. Most notably, the Big Agnes Copper Spur, which I do love. It has become one of my favorite tents, but at $560 or $570 for a 2-person tent, whoo, that just prices almost everybody out. So I like that it's still a premium tent and has premium pricing, but being under $500, it's hard to say that that's much of a good accomplishment these days, but it is, because everything is just flippin' expensive right now. So to be $470 is pretty good for the 2-person tent. So the minimum trail weight is 3 pounds, 7 ounces. And to be anywhere close to the low end of 3 pounds, I guess it's really half, 3.5 pounds, is pretty good. And so I'm looking forward to getting this out there and trying this version because I think it's gonna be really nice. The interior spacing is 84 inches long by 68 inches wide. That is the interior, and it is rectangular. It's not tapered. So you can have square air mattresses in there, which is a big deal because sometimes if you have square air mattresses but your tent is tapered, you can't fit what you think you're gonna be able to fit inside. Now, being 68 inches and not 75 inches wide means that you cannot fit 3 25-inch wide pads inside this tent. And you might have a hard time fitting 2 if you have a third person. So you can't really do, mathematically speaking, it's gonna be squished. If you have a 25-inch wide, a 25-inch wide, and a 20-inch wide pad, that is 70 inches. So I think you could probably squish it, but it technically will be squished. If you're a 2-person backpacking team, a tandem, and you've got a dog, then that's kind of perfect because you can fit 50 inches worth of pads there and then have enough extra room to make like a dog bed and stuff like that, which is what I do, which is why I like the 3-person tent. So the minimum trail weight for the 2-person tent is 2 pounds, 14 ounces. So obviously gonna be a good bit lighter. To me, it's in the lightweight tent category. I think that they might even call it ultralight, but to me, I'd want to be getting it down closer to 2 pounds to be calling that 2-person tent ultralight. So it's lightweight, don't get me wrong. I think it's very lightweight, especially for a more traditional, robust backpacking tent. It's very light. And your floor dimensions on the 2-person tent are 84, same length, by 50 inches wide. So that is nice because you can fit 2 25-inch wide pads side by side inside. Which to me is a big deal. I do not like it when they are 48 inches wide because then somebody has to not have a 25-inch wide pad. So, you know, just make it rectangular and make it 50 inches and you've got me sold. So I like that for the 2-person tent. Also, this vestibule size, each side you get 26 inches of vestibule spacing. My overall thoughts are that I am very excited to test this tent out. At $580, it's pricey, but for a 3-person tent, you're gonna be spending $450 probably anyway for something that's not super bulky and super heavy. So I like to see what they've got going on. And this was my home. The Hubba Hubba was my home for 7 months of backpacking through South America. So I'm very fond of the style. There's so much about this tent that I really like. So it's time to test out the new updated version, and I'll have to do a follow-up sometime after I've gotten some rigorous testing in. All right, this is long-winded. That was a lot because it is a tent, so there's a lot to talk about. But let's move on to something new. Next up on my list of gear is the Lite 50-liter backpack from Waymark. There is something satisfying about just having a backpack that you can feel really nimble in and really light in, and frankly, just go for miles. And that's the main thing, is that if you want to go for a long way, then you need to shave weight. And there's all sorts of ways to do it, including backpacks. So this backpack is a $270 50-liter backpack. Now, there are some add-on points and ways to extend your gear storage. You know, you've got like this thing back here, this mesh, you've got side pockets, but you know what? Let's set this down and let's dive in with a little bit more intimate look. The Waymark pack is similar in many ways to the Outdoor Vitals Shadow Light, to the Southwest 3400 from Hyperlite Mountain Gear. There are some very similarly categorized packs, and this is in that world. It is right over 2 pounds, I think, with all the bells and whistles that are on here, including some of these pockets. I believe it's 40 ounces or like 39 ounces. So that's 2 pounds, 7 ounces, math. Right off the bat, I think that I am more drawn to this version than the Hyperlite Mountain Gear, but there are some differences. One, Hyperlite's packs are made with Dyneema. These are made with something else, very similar feel. Let me see, I've got that somewhere. So this is made of, I don't actually know anything about this fabric, but it is made with recycled EPX 200 EcoPack fabrics. Also, it looks like my horizon's off kilter. I'm gonna need to fix that. Sorry in case that horizon line was driving anybody crazy. Filming by myself here. So I don't know what EcoPack fabric is, but it has that same kind of texture where it feels like it might have some pretty good water resistance. I doubt it's waterproof fully, but I did post a video on the Hyperlite mountain gear, and a lot of people were like, this pack is not waterproof. So I'm hesitant to even talk about waterproofness because some people are very sensitive about it, and I don't want to lead people astray either. So you're gonna have to be careful. I think you might want some garbage bags or something like that for your gear inside of here to not fully trust it. But so this is a roll top backpack, which I do like the roll top for some reasons, but one of the things that I think right off the bat that I don't really like is I really want to be able to attach these down and have that come to the side like I can do with a Hyperlite. This is, you basically are rolling it this way, either front or back, and then you've got this Y strap that comes up and over and provides that cinching this way. So I do like the Y strap. That is very similar. You've got, a place to hold it from. You've got a place to compress this down into. I don't really have much going on in this backpack at the moment, but I think I prefer Hyperlite Mountain Gear's closure system just because it comes down to the side rather than rolling up this way. It just feels a little cleaner to me the other way. But look at this. These have load adjusters. The Hyperlite Mountain Gears do not, and that to me drove me kind of crazy. So just the fact that you can actually adjust these in, dial that in a lot better, to me it's like no brainer. Why don't you add that in? Now the other things are, it's got a little bit more foam padding here, not a lot, it's still very light and minimal, but it has a little bit more that I like. I think that this is going to be able to carry a little bit heavier, a little bit more comfortably. Obviously, you're not trying to carry a lot of weight, but this Waymark advertises that this is good in at high end of weight, 30 to 35 pounds, which I think sounds about right. You shouldn't be carrying more than 35. Hyperlite Mountain Gear advertises 40-pound weight capacity. I had it at about 35, 38 pounds and was not comfortable. So I also like that you can cinch these this way. Oh, so much easier than pulling this way. Being able to pull it with your body, it's just so much better. So a more well thought out hip belt system there. I really like that. And then the other thing that's really cool with Waymark is that you can add stuff that you want. So if you want hip belts, well, you can add these pockets in. If you want hip belt pockets, not hip belts, they all come with hip belts. And these are really nice and deep. You can fit phones, snacks, lighters, things like that in them, and it's great. So you can get them on both hips if you want, or you can just do one. I did the one, and then I added in this pocket here. So you can customize it. As you're on their website, you can just be like, I want this, I want that, I'm not interested in that, and you can get what you want. So it starts off at $270, and obviously you can add in about $50 worth of add-ons to get like the upper end pack. So the more you add on, of course, the more weight you add. But I am a big fan of this system. Okay, I was wrong about something, so I want to clarify. The interior capacity of the 50-liter backpack is actually around 39 liters. This is for the medium torso version. And then you've got an extra 12 liters of capacity in this compartment here. So that is an important distinction because you can't fit 50 liters in here and then, oh, bonus. So it is 50 liters with all considered in. A few other points that I like about this is I really like these deep water bottle pockets. These are nice. I love that you're not gonna have anything flopping out. You could also fit multiple things. You could get trekking poles. I could fit my water bottle plus my tripod that I always backpack with over here. So that's cool. Ooh, that sun is getting really intense. I'm gonna have to move my camera. Sorry about that. But yeah, I like all of these cinch points, and it's just a very clean, very satisfying backpack. And so I'm a fan of the Waymark, and I hope you check them out at waymarkgearco.com. All right, new items coming up now. Oh, Kovu. Kovu's just been the most lovey-dovey dog. Okay, this may turn out to be kind of a long video. Every time I talk, Kovu gets really excited. So I'm sorry about that. But the last two items have been pretty big ticket items. So I do want to add something in that's just a little bit more accessible, a little bit more approachable, and kind of some everyday stuff. So it's gonna be a mishmash because I'm gonna use 3 new things. So this is like triple bonus here. But the main thing that I wanted to talk about is my favorite Spork system of all time. It's the Yuko Spork, I think it's called. It's actually a fork and a spoon and a knife. So Cove was really interested. The reason why I like it so much is they flip together, so you can have like the long deep handled spoon if you do happen to have the deep food bag, and then you can just split them up. If somebody forgets something, you can kind of use each partner can use one of those things. And then this knife is actually pretty sharp. Now for essentially a plastic, although it's not actually plastic, knife, this is food grade nylon, so it actually is very durable. And I've had this one for a while now, and I've used it on many trips. But it is my favorite little system for $8. I know Dan loves his spoon. That was one of my main takeaways from my backpacking trip with him. He loves his 88-cent Ozark Trail spoon. But I think this is better. Now for $8, it's 10 times the price, but it's pretty killer. And I'm gonna make a meal because I've got a couple of the things here that I wanted to talk about. So we're just gonna get into it. Cole was here, settled in, and we're gonna make a meal. Okay, this is a food company that I'm relatively new on. It's called Right On Trek. And they make, they're not freeze-dried meals. You actually need to cook them. They come in a bag like this, but you need to cook them in a pot. So I've got the Mighty Mo pot system from Jetboil. That is my other item. And this is a 1.5 liter pot, and we're gonna make a dinner tonight starting now. So this Mighty Mo pot is interesting because it is bigger than anything that I've really used. It's got a ceramic coating, but the main thing is that it has the same kind of heat coils that Jetboil is really known for. So you still have the really efficient heat transfer that makes Jetboil so efficient, why everybody loves them so much. So we're gonna crank that up, because I like the Mo system because you can actually have some temperature control. And the main thing with this is you got to boil the water and then you add this to the pot and you kind of let it cook together. So here I'm going to be making the beef stroganoff from Right On Trek. And it takes 14 ounces of water, but look at this. Woo! 1,030 calories. That is what I like to see. That will feed some people. So I love that. And then the other thing is that you basically have a meal in what they say 7 minutes. So it's actually faster than some of the freeze-dried meals, except you have some cleanup. You've got a bio bag, bio-based packaging. So it's not like Mylar and stuff like that. So I just did a backpacking trip in Idaho with Dan, and I cooked one of these meals, first one I've ever cooked, and it was stellar. The dinner was one of the best dinners I've ever had for a backcountry prepackaged meal. So very curious about that. Oh, we're already boiling. That was quick. That took no time at all. So unfortunately, I didn't press record, but I added this in. It's got to cook down for 3 minutes. And then the other thing is that it comes with like some extra packs that you will remove, cook it down, you add it in. And so it ends up being a meal that feels a lot more like real food. So this is also the second time I've used this Mighty Mo pot. And I think it's pretty cool. I do like it. I'm not in love with it, but I like that you can have a mixture of the efficient pot that Jetboil has with some real cooking. So it has a big enough flat bottom that you can really cook some stuff up, and then it has the kind of non-stick surface that makes it easier to clean. It's gonna take some effort to clean it up, but is better. And I'm talking about 3 different things. I've got my spoon, as you can see, having that long handle, very handy. I've got the Jetboil, which is I think comes with a stove, not just the pot, but it's like a $130 system. And then this right on truck meal. So we're just going off the rails here. It's a new format of a video and I just want to do it. So, hey, I make the rules around here. Okay, that's supposed to sit and wait for 3 minutes. So I've got my long-handled spoon. I'll give it now a taste. In case you couldn't see it earlier, these nest together. So you can just click them together like that and they will stay. And yeah, share, turn them around. And it's really nice to have that. It's so nice to have that long-handled to dive into bags of food. I just like it. For $8, it's my favorite. Okay, let's take a look at what this looks like. Beef stroganoff can sometimes just end up looking like mush. I suppose that kind of does, but it also looks pretty good. That looks like a real food. So let's try it now. Okay, it's time to eat. That took longer because I was talking, but it took only 8 minutes. Cole was very interested in the smell. That's a good sign. Oh, hot. Honestly, that's pretty good. Okay, well that's it, my friends. We've talked about a lot of stuff. I started in the afternoon and now it is almost sundown. So this has been a long video, longer than probably I anticipated or you all signed up for. But thanks so much for watching. It's been fun doing these Fresh Gear Fridays. I like the format. I like just talking about gear. And let me know, hit me up in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, what you want to hear, what you want to see in the future. And yeah, if you're digging this format, this vibe. So I'm gonna go finish the rest of my beef stroganoff. Thanks so much for watching. If you did like this video, please give it that thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed here at Backpacking TV. I am thankful for all the people that have subscribed here. Just crossed 100,000 and I am very excited about that. So woohoo, let's keep it rocking. All right, everybody, see you later.